What is up, everybody? It's Bart Johnson here, and welcome to another Saturday live stream during this crazy time in the world. So I, of course, have nicknamed this the Quaranstream. But today, I didn't really have a particular topic of discussion in mind. But I wanted to open up the forum to any of you guys for a little Q&A and a little hangout because, I mean, Lord knows everybody needs a little bit of some form of social interaction during these lockdown times. And right now, the way to do that is live stream and hanging out. So there we go. We've got Shiznuts here in the chat already saying the sky is up. Good to see you. All right, before we dive right in, let me give you guys a summary of what we're doing today. Like I said, we're just going to be hanging out, doing Q&A. If you guys have any filmmaking questions for me, questions about my channel, questions about pretty much anything, please feel free to go ahead and comment them. I've got a few things that I'll share along the way today because I've been experimenting with some new stuff that I'll sort of work through with you guys. And if I look tired today, it's because I am. So my sleep schedule has been completely turned upside down during these times. And so when I said in my post that, like, you know, I've taken a shower and took my PJs off, that literally happened like maybe 20 minutes ago. So I just barely made it for the stream. But yeah, so let me show you guys. Let's make sure everything's working here. So I switched over to a new live streaming software. Let me see if I can get our chat up here. That doesn't seem to be showing it. So I'm going to be able to, there we go. All right, so we've got chat coming up here. So this may look familiar to a lot of you guys on the channel. This is how I've been running my chat for all of the live streams. It's some CSS code that I've put into OBS that allows me to do this. But there's a different version of OBS from a company called Streamlabs, and it's called Streamlabs OBS, you know, nicknamed Slobs, SLOBS. But it is available for Mac now because I'm on a Mac, and it's free as well, but has some additional features and whatnot. And I wanted to kind of check that out. So I spent, admittedly, a lot of the time last night going through the features and seeing how things work. They're very similar, but I was playing with some different things. So the reason I'm bringing up this chat is because I have our original chat window, but I have a different chat window that is built in. Okay, so that seems to be working too. So this is a little bit different, but it's a little bit behind. Okay, so this is the Streamlabs OBS live chat window. So I can customize all of this stuff. I can change the size and whatnot. But last night during my test streams, I was not able to get this working. So I'm happy to see that it is working now. But anyway, that was a little aside there. But speaking of that chat, let's see what Shiznuts has got going on. They've got racing esports on national television. One of the things now booming, of course, since people want content and some actual events aren't happening but can happen virtually. Yeah, I heard something about that. I heard they were doing virtual racing with NASCAR drivers or something like that. I didn't look up the article. I just heard it in another live stream. People were chatting about it. But yeah, it's you know, it's a great idea. You know, these guys are still professional race car drivers, and they have apparently a simulator that's realistic enough to actual racing, and they're able to do virtual racing and kind of keep everything going. Let's see here. She's not saying, Streamlabs sounds cool. We'll check that out because I tried OBS itself once and it was a bit complicated. Didn't get it to do what I wanted. Maybe that has an easier interface / usability. Let's see. I can actually show you. So the one thing I don't like about Streamlabs OBS for Mac, and this is not its fault, it is still technically a beta software, but that means that it doesn't work with my Elgato Stream Deck that I use for switching all my OBS scenes. But I believe it does work with Streamlabs OBS on PC, the Elgato Camlink, or not Camlink, Stream Deck. So I'm hoping that, when this comes out of beta, that that feature will be there. And I'll be able to switch again with my little buttons that I have right in front of me, make it a little easier. Today I'm just switching by clicking on the scenes, which is easy enough. Gear Jones, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Rob is in here. Ahoy from Winnipeg. Good to see that. And of course, the A10 Mini Pro got announced yesterday. Yeah, I figured that would come up and we'd talk about it. Let me show you this. See, I keep reaching for my Stream Deck here. Let me show you the look of Streamlabs OBS here. Make it a little Inception. Okay, so here you go. So yeah, it looks extremely similar to OBS, maybe a little bit slicker, but it's the same kind of design here where, you're going to be dealing with the scenes. So you've got these various scenes that it would switch between different things that I've set up. And then you add your assets for each one, but they've got stuff like alert boxes. So if anybody subscribes or does a super chat during the show, there's a custom alert that should actually pop up on the screen, which is kind of cool. That's built in for all sorts of stuff. A lot of the stuff is more for Twitch game streamers, but there's definitely a lot of YouTube specific stuff. But yeah, so it's got and this is pretty cool. I mean, it's got a mini feed here, if you can see, where it actually shows me, because it's linked directly to my YouTube channel, so it shows me as people subscribe, and when they did it and whatnot. So it's linked directly in, and as soon as I start the thing, the chat is right here. So this is actually a chat window directly inside of Streamlabs OBS that it brings up automatically for me. I of course have it pulled up anyway on a separate screen on the actual YouTube site, but Streamlabs OBS, like I said, it's patched directly into my YouTube channel. So even when I go live, you see there's this button down here that just says end stream right now. But if I, when I got started, it just says go live, and you click it. And then if you have any live events, like I had this one set up in my YouTube, playlist, a live event scheduled, it had a drop-down menu for me that I would just click and select this event. No entering any keys or stream keys or anything like that, and it just started pumping it out, which is pretty cool. Like I said, there's a few features that I've been playing with. They've got a lot of stuff for templates and easy widgets and stuff that you can put in. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff like tip jars and all that. Like I said, most of it seems to be more for Twitch people, but definitely some stuff that's usable for YouTube. So, I'm not going to make the stream crazy with stuff flashing all over the place and whatnot. Let's see if I can. I wonder if I can do this. If I can show you some of the stuff that I've done here. So, let me go to our live chat slobs. So this refreshes every time. So that I don't necessarily like, because if I go to my other live chat, now it's giving me welcome to live chat. So yeah, a few little coding things that I'm working on here. Live chat slobs. I do still have your guys' chat here. We'll just see what this Streamlabs OBS built-in chat box does as the chat comes through. But I still have everything here, and I'll be able to pull you guys up in the other chat as well. Let's see what we've got here. What was I doing? Oh, I wanted to see if I could test one of these things. So, okay, so if I gave let's see if this works. So if I gave myself a super chat, or if anybody gave a super chat, I think this should happen. Aha, there you go. Wait, where is it? Over here. So, and it says this is a test super chat. I did not just give myself $91. But yeah, so, it'll pop up whenever somebody does a super chat. So I put that one together. And then I think I did a subscriber one too. So if anybody subscribes during the stream, I just subscribed to myself. But yeah, just a test. But yeah, cool little things that you can put together pretty easily, actually. It wasn't too bad. It was just kind of deciding what I wanted and learning the interface and whatnot. Okay. So yeah, that's Streamlabs OBS if you want to check it out. It's available for PC and Mac. The Mac software is in beta. It does work just fine, but integration with stuff like Elgato Stream Deck control is not there yet. It is there on PC though. So A10 Mini, yeah, we want to talk about that. A10 Mini Pro, rather. And I think, so she's saying, I think really everyone right now wants to get into streaming and get to know about the ins and outs. So relevant right now. Yeah, a lot of people are suddenly getting into streaming because of, I mean, the lockdowns and quarantines and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, live streaming has become big not only for, pardon me, gotta drink my iced tea there. It's become big not only for big YouTubers. You know, you got people like even Philip Bloom doing, you know, weekly live streams and stuff like that now. But even just, you know, smaller people and people who have never tried it before, just to have interaction. And whether it be something that they publish to YouTube or whether they're figuring out how to do it to just interact with friends, family, and whatever. Streaming is becoming very big right now, and it's amazing because it is very simple to do. I mean, you can make it as easy or as complicated as you want. You know, you could go super simple with a webcam and use something like Zoom, if you're okay with Facebook having all of your information. You know, conspiracy theories there, but you could use that just to patch a whole bunch of people in and hang out and have like a virtual happy hour. So, you know, I've been participating in a bunch of those. And actually, I do want to say about virtual happy hours. The one that I've been in, it happens once a week, and we've had 2 of them so far, is Photo Joseph actually has a virtual happy hour every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And so I do want to get the word out for that. It's open to everybody to come and hang out. It does use Zoom, so enter at your own risk, I guess. But it's fun. You know, we hang out for an hour, have drinks, and just chit chat and stuff. So I'm going to post that into the chat here for you guys to check out. He hasn't reset it for next week, but it will be on Thursday. So what you do is you just click the link in here. There's a link down at the bottom. That's a direct link to the Zoom Hangout, so you guys will pop into there. But don't click it until 5 p.m. Or I don't know what will happen, but don't click it until 5 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday. So, but if you do want to join that. Okay, so this chat pops up, but it doesn't keep the messages up if I switch away from the screen. That's interesting. I'm sure there's a way to do that. I'm sure it's in the settings somewhere where I can tell it to just keep the messages on there. Even if I bet you, I wonder if it's because I have it set to refresh. Let me try something here. Sorry guys, I am still watching you. So, Rob saying, yeah, regarding streaming, even just to connect with others. Yeah, I mean, it's the way to do it these days. Let's see here. Rob saying, LOL, Facebook already does. Which streaming service does everyone think will benefit the most after this is all over? You know, even though its base functionality is free, like it seems like Zoom is exploding. And I think it's just because of its business potential, meaning that it's really easy to have multiple people all in a thing all at once. Of course, there's stuff like Microsoft Teams, but you have to, you know, your company has to pay and be a part of that. And to have Microsoft Teams, which does the same thing very easily. My company has Microsoft Teams meetings once a week, but I mean, Zoom seems to be exploding, and I think even their CEO had a statement where he's like, "Yeah, we're getting a lot more traffic than we were expecting, and we're trying to figure out how to handle all this and keep data safe and whatnot and all that kind of stuff." But I'd be interested in hearing what you guys think too. What do you think, Rob? Are there other platforms that you think are going to be benefiting? So let's see here. Rob says, will I do my own happy hour? You know, I might. I don't want to flood it too much, you know, and I'd have to figure out when I would do it, so on Wednesday nights, I go over to the C47 channel with Jem Schofield and Ben Barden and Caleb Pike, Caleb from DSLR Video Shooter. And they always have their weekly show, Camera and Flask. at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So 3 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, you can do the math from there. But, that's an hour-long hangout. Now, I'm not actively in it. You just get to interact with them in the chat. But I know a lot of you guys are in there. I've seen Rob in there. I've seen Shiznuts in there. But it's, that's a good time hanging out. And then on Thursday now, Photo Joseph has this one. So I don't know if I'll do my own, just because there's a whole bunch out there. I think for now, I'm probably just going to keep joining Photo Joseph's one weekly, because it's open to everybody. So, what's the point of me having my own and then inviting the same people over to that? It kind of just makes sense to get as many people as we can into his. But I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. All right, we got a good bit of people in here. I like that. Got to catch up here. Oh, boy. Hi, Bart. How could Blackmagic do this to us yesterday? So, yesterday, Blackmagic had a live stream announcement, as they often do. Don't know if this is acting as their NAB replacement announcement, because they've done these announcements before via live stream, but I don't know if it's a replacement for their NAB thing. If they might have something else coming to shock us in a week or two, but who knows. But anyway, they were announcing not only new functionality for the A10 Mini, which has been flying off the shelves, which is their little hardware switcher panel that's super affordable, like $300, and is out of stock everywhere because they're just so popular, so affordable, and powerful for what they can do. But then they also announced of course, the Pro version. So the Pro version has added functionality in that it can stream on its own. So it's a standalone streaming device. Let me see here. I'll pull it up actually. Yeah, it is a. Hang on, I need to check which side screen here does this go to. Okay, so it goes to that one. All right. Let's see. But yeah, it can stream on its own, but it also has cool functionality in that it can do camera control for Blackmagic cameras, of course. Particularly, they were talking about the pocket cameras. So you can control the color, you can make the cameras all match, you can even trigger recording and pump time code out to them. And actually, I heard that a friend on Discord, Furworks, I don't know if he'll pop in today, but he did the upgrades of the firmware, both to the camera, his Pocket 4K, and to the live chat goes away. I hate that. And to his A10 Mini, the regular one. And he did have some control over the camera. He couldn't start and stop recording locally on them, which is a feature that I really wanted. So if I do want to do that, I will have to go to the Pro. But yeah, it's... So let's see, who was saying that? Noir et Blanc V, how could Blackmagic do this to us? I know you said you were just joking, but what do you mean? Are you saying you really, really want it and you're upset that they announced a new version so quickly? Or are you upset that that was all that they announced? Let me know. But let's take a quick peek at this. I keep going for my Stream Deck. Like I said, guys, this is a real casual, just hangout stream here today. So let's see here. Pardon me. So for anyone who may have missed it, this is over on the Blackmagic website. Of course, we've got the A10 Mini. That's the regular one. So yeah, you can see, 4 HDMI inputs. And then here's the Pro. So more functionality. Won't go into all the details of it. There are some great videos out there. Actually, Photo Joseph is like the live streaming guy. So I'll put a link to Photo Joseph's video. Actually, sorry, just making myself a note here. I need like a producer to make video notes, so when I go back through this, Okay. There we go. But yeah, so you can go ahead over to his channel and check that out. I will put a link down below. And you can learn all the stuff. He goes through it real quick. I think it's like 5.5 minutes, and he talks about all the new features and all that stuff. I am considering this because when I get my new studio built, goodness. When I get my new studio built, you know, when we get the house put back together and everything, I am going to want to try and reset up the 3 camera setup that I had before. So I had 3 cameras in my studio, and I used them for double duty. So I would use them for streaming, where I could switch between them, and I had kind of a, you know, DIY sort of roundabout solution, but it worked fantastically. So I could use that to stream out, but I also would use them to record. I would record on each one, so that when I did edited videos, I had all 3 camera angles. Man, I have something in my throat today. I really apologize. But I would have all 3 camera angles. So I wanted to be able to do that again, but I want to be able to do it in 4K. So there's a lot of options out there. There's the Shogun 7 and all that kind of stuff that does switching, saves the ISOs, but they only do 1080. So I'm just being really picky. I want 4K recordings of all the cameras. So this would allow me to internally on each of the cameras record ungraded, you know, beautiful Blackmagic 4K footage. But at the same time, I could then also stream if I wanted to. So, you know, it seems like it would do double duty. Now, it would mean I'd need more pocket cameras to do a 3 camera setup. So it's no small investment to do the entire system because, of course, you got to do all Blackmagic. Yeah. Rob just said, you're coughing wrong. Yeah, I guess I probably shouldn't be like clearing my throat and like, it's not coughing. I'm clearing my throat, okay? I'm okay. I'm okay. Despite the fact that I had a mask on in the thumbnail, that was just a joke. It was just a joke. I'm fine. I promise you. I have been very, very good about my stay-at-homeness. So I'm fine. Yeah, I just realized I was like, maybe I shouldn't have a Quaranstream where I'm coughing every 30 seconds, but just clear my throat. Just need a little, you know, a little iced tea. Take care of it right there. That was funny. So sorry, guys. I'm going to have to dig into this chat window and figure out what's going on, because it seems to refresh every time that I go away from it and wait for that. So your chats aren't gone. I do have them all here. But yeah, that's kind of annoying. So that'll be some features I have to figure out. Hang on. Wait, I was going to figure that out. Always show messages. Yes. Source. Refresh browser when scene becomes active. I wonder if that does it. Interesting. Okay. So I'm fiddling around with it, and we'll see what we can do. But let's go through some of the chats that I missed. Let me pull up my other chat. My other chat should have everybody in there. There we go. Oh, sorry. Wow, I missed a lot. So Gear Jones was saying it's also Zoom's free tier. Most require a subscription. So that's a good point. Yeah, if you want larger functionality from Zoom, you do need a subscription. So, you know, they're going to make money. Not everybody's going to just be able to be satisfied with the free version. I mean, for most of us right now, the free version is great. She's not to saying, but also how important it is to get people up and up to running home studios, because like Jimmy Kimmel, then you have Trevor Noah, John Oliver with video and audio quality is quite okay. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, streaming has been huge also because all production is shut down and being done remotely. So these hosts of these shows are doing their pieces from their homes, and things are either being pre-recorded or being streamed out, and for a lot of them the quality is very good. That's a really good point. Streaming is being used to keep businesses afloat right now. The entertainment and talk show industry and news and everything. So that's crazy. Trevor's saying Zoom's growth would be very good if they can put a proper security in place. They should hire out some experts. Yeah, I think they're kind of panicking a little bit. I don't think they were quite ready for this many eyes to be on them and this many users. And so I think that they are going to try and figure out their security issues and make it a more stable platform. But yeah, they weren't expecting it. I mean, nobody was expecting this. But yeah. Trevor says, I thought Blackmagic's live stream was just fine, and frankly, they just released 3 cameras. People are way too used to getting cameras at breakneck speed. It's unsustainable. I know, but I was hoping, I miss my Ursa 4.6K. She got toasted. And I don't want to buy a G2 because I feel like there's a G3 just on the horizon. I feel like they're going to I've said it before, it would be so easy for them to take the Super 35 6K sensor from the Pocket 6K, which I have over my shoulder back here, take that sensor and slap it in an Ursa mini body and put a lot more processing horsepower behind it and get more frame rates and performance out of it. It's just so easy. It's just like a sensor transplant. So I feel like a G3 is due, and I was hoping, but you're right. We're spoiled. The world's on shutdown, and we're still like, why didn't you give us a new camera? But yeah, Blackmagic did give us some pretty amazing cameras recently. This 6K came out of nowhere, of course, on us. We just like to complain, man. We can't be content. That's not what drives progress. Complaints drive progress. Everybody knows that. Shizna says, I wish the GH6 would be a Blackmagic collab. That'd be interesting. Panasonic and Blackmagic getting together to make a GH6. I mean, I don't think it would ever happen, but best of both worlds would be pretty cool. Shizna saying, give me that ProRes raw goodness, but with Panasonic's use as is usability. Yeah, that's true. Codecs of one, ease of use of another. Rob is saying, you guys are talking about even if new cameras were announced, people aren't really necessarily buying right now because, things are uncertain. A lot of people are either furloughed or have lost their jobs. So, there's not a lot of purchasing going on. So yeah, even if something had come out, would it fly off the shelves? I don't know. Probably not right now, meaning a camera. So even me, like, I'm interested in the A10 Mini Pro, but I'm not buying it right now because it doesn't make sense. I have no use for it at this moment. Right now, this setup works for me. So I'll be waiting until way down the line when everything is ready to go and I'm ready to actually rig up the new studio. And even then, I'll reevaluate what's out there and if this is indeed the way I want to go. So as much as I was like, ooh, new shiny, I'd love to get it and have it before anybody else and maybe talk about it, it's not the time. So very good point. Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch up here, but let me see what I got here. We'll do a speed round and I'll try and go through here and get caught up with you guys. The Pocket 4K and 6K are absolutely incredible machines. I'm pretty sure 95% of the people who have them are nowhere maxing their potential. It's very true. I love them both. I was skeptical of both, admittedly. When the Pocket 4K came out, I was like, I don't know about this thing. Used it, loved it, bought it. Then they announced the 6K. I'm like, I don't know about this thing. Bought it, love it, using it. So, yeah. Sorry, Blackmagic. I'm a skeptical guy, but I always end up sort of, tipping your way. you, nor at LeBlanc. I mean, I need that A10 mini, but like you said, it's sold out everywhere. I was waiting for the new camera announcement, something 8K full frame, but that's cool. My UMP still rocking and rolling. 8K full frame? Wow. I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome, but man, you're really putting the pressure on them, aren't you? That would, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool. Talking about potential of those cameras. Sold my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Still rather use my GH5 G9 or get a Z-Cam. You know I went that route too. Z-Cam's hanging out right there. And I have that video on, I'm rigging it out. Let's see, I'll put that in here. And I did put out a video of some test footage. You know, it's just in the backyard with Indy here, but it was the best that I could do. Great image coming out of it. I just need to work with it a little bit more. Had the 4K, not the 6K. Didn't ever work with any Canons. So talking about working with Canon cameras. The 6K, thought it would be a great B cam to the Canon 500 or C500 Mark II. If you can match color efficiency, what do you think? So he's talking with Shiznuts there, so that's good. Okay, we're getting caught up here. Yes, we're onto the screen. I made it. Sorry, guys. If I did miss something in there, my apologies. Feel free to pop it back into the chat, and I'll get it. You know, we're just hanging out, having a good time here. So my latest purchase was a MIDI keyboard. Want to be getting into learning piano so I can bust out some moves when there's a piano somewhere, as well as create some of my own scores to use on projects. That's a great idea. You know, if you got the time, sit there, practice, you know, learn something new, better yourself. And then, yeah, if you go to a party or something when we're allowed to gather in groups of more than 10 again, and there's a piano, you can shock everybody with your, you know, your badass piano skills and just bust that out. That's pretty cool, man. Well done. I've just sort of been tinkering around and playing with stuff and building Legos and editing and doing whatever I can to keep myself busy. So, talking about matching lenses. Oh, Hugh Tran is in here. Hello. Sorry it took me so long to get to your comment. I did see you in there. Double ISO for an Ursa G3 would be nice. Yeah, we know that they've got these dual ISO sensors, you know. The Pockets do it. You know, they have it. So putting that, like I said, it seems like it'd be so simple. I'm no engineer, camera engineer. It seems like it would be a simple sensor swap from the Pocket 6K sensor to put into an Ursa Mini body. And just by the nature of the cooling and computing power that's in an Ursa Mini body, you could get better performance in terms of frame rates and resolutions and all that kind of stuff out of it. I don't mean resolutions like suddenly a 6K sensor is able to shoot 8K, but I just mean the speed in which it can pull stuff off of the sensor. You know, maybe you could get actual ProRes in 6K, which currently 6K is only available in Blackmagic RAW currently on the Pocket 6K, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, it just seems like it'd be so easy. But then again, I'm just a, you know, consumer speculating. You know, I say it's easy, you know, they'll probably be like, hey, why don't you come on over here and try it? Ooh, whoops, I broke it. So Rob put a question out there. What, if any, purchases is anyone seriously considering now? For me, the Aston Self microphone to up my home studio audio game. So it's difficult for me because I am in the process of trying to replace a lot of the gear that was lost in the fire, but I have actually held off. So while I would love to go on a shopping spree right now and just buy, fact of the matter is a lot of the stuff right now is out of stock or is overpriced because of demand. And the fact of the matter is I don't really need all of it right now. I'm in a much smaller space, and so there's no point in me like buying something that I'm not going to use right now and just have it fill up space and then eventually have to move it over to the other house. So I've only been buying the essentials. I actually, the latest things I picked up was this Elgato key light, which I'm using up here. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I'll tell you what, I've actually been pretty impressed with it. Let me pull it up and I'll show you guys what it is if you're interested in it. I think it's a little overpriced, to be honest, but let me show you guys what we're working with here. Okay, here we go. So this is it. You know, it's a diffused, really soft panel light, and it comes with this mount. And actually, this is very much what my setup looks like right now. I'm not all gamerified though, but I do have mine up over this monitor over right here, and it comes with this stand. You can kind of see the stand here that clamps to the desk. And then telescopes up and down, and has a little ball head on top so you can angle it. And so I do have it clamped to the desk in the back there and shining at me. And it's pretty cool. You know, it's bicolor. So there's the stand. Of course, it's all like gamers. But here's the cool thing is you can control it from your computer, or you can actually control it from the Stream Deck, or you can control it from your phone. So yeah, see, you can turn it on and change the color temp and all that stuff. And I do have those buttons actually programmed onto mine here. So here, I'll turn it off. So from my Stream Deck, I turned it off right there and then turned it back on. You know, pretty cool. I think it's like $179 or something like that, but I'll put a link to it down below if you guys want to pick it up. Like I said, I think it's a little overpriced, but I've actually been I've been surprised and pleasantly surprised by the quality of the light that I get from it. And I actually have been using it and leaving it on at a lower power just throughout the day, and it makes a nice like desk light for me here. So let's get back to our chat. There we go. So that's refreshing the source every time too, which is why it pulls this up. I wish it wouldn't do that. I'll figure it out. Like I said, was fooling around with it all, learning, figuring out. So sorry if I got lost here. She's also saying I have a new Samsung G-Track Pro. Weird thing is when I record something, it sounds nice on the monitoring. On the recorded replay, the audio sounds, or playback sounds slowed down, sync issue or something. Interesting. Unfortunately, I don't know a ton about sound, and I don't know that particular device, so I won't be able to help you, but maybe somebody in the chat can. Looks like Rob might know something about it. Trevor's saying, look, can you take 2 minutes and just explain what it means to process an 8K workflow? It's driving me crazy the way people are salivating. I will not buy an 8K camera, the overhead, geez. Okay. Okay, Trevor, I hear you. I hear you. So everyone who talks about resolution, we want more, we want more, we want more. Well, the fact of the matter is, the more that you get, you're going to need to push more data to your recording media. So what that means is you're going to need faster, more expensive media. You could even get to the point where it might be too fast for external SSDs, like a lot of cameras allow us to plug in now. You might have to buy some new kind of card that is fast enough and could cost a freaking fortune to pop in there to be able to record that data. So you're talking huge money right there. Then you're talking about the amount of data. Like, look at the difference between a 1080p clip and a 4K clip shot in the same codec. It is massively different in size. So then you're going to need more of those cards. You're going to fill them up more, and then you need to store that stuff somewhere. So storage, then hard drive storage on your system is going to become another huge concern. You need to store this stuff somewhere, and you need something that's fast enough to spin up and be able to play back this stuff so that you can edit it. So you need fast drives, you need reliable drives, you need big drives. All of those things cost money. Then you need a system that's even going to be capable of handling that. You need GPU and CPU specs that are top of the line, and even then you may struggle with it. So the workflow pipeline for 8K for most people, is not an affordable or realistic solution. Even if you were to shoot it in 8K and for whatever reason compress it down and deliver in 4K or 1080p, the fact of the matter is you are still running into those issues because you're still capturing 8K. So the only benefits would be if you had an 8K sensor that was downsampling to some amazing looking 4K or something like that. You know, that's the benefit of the Pocket 6K. That's how I use it. I use it in 4K. I shoot 4K with it, and it actually downsamples from the 6K and gives me really, really nice looking 4K. So even though that camera does 6K, I don't shoot in 6K. This guy over here, my Zcam E2 F6, also shoots in 6K. Am I going to be shooting in 6K? No. I put a 256 gig CFast card in there, shooting in ProRes 422, yeah, in 6K, I would get 27 minutes on a 256 gig card. So, yeah, and a 256 gig card, that's not cheap, it's several $100s. So yeah, Trevor, hopefully I have, hopefully I've made you happy, and have also shared with everyone that, you know, we crave all of these performance and resolution upgrades that, you know, we may not be able to handle or make use of. So that's, you know, I'm not saying that nobody can and that there's no point to it. You know, there are certainly people who would get use out of an 8K sensor, do have the infrastructure and the workflow set up to handle that, no problem. But you just got to figure out if that's really something for you or not. So, you know, it's hard. We want more, but there's at a certain point there's the law of diminishing returns where it's like, okay, I'm spending a lot more, but how much more am I getting and how much more does this actually help me? So, all right, let's see what we got in here in the chat. Oh, wait, I wanted to see if this one comes back. Yes, I figured it out. Awesome. Figured out how to make that not go away. Okay. Had a lot of back and forth chat in there. Expecting Atomos to have a year-end blowout sale. Man, that'd be awesome. They actually did just have a sale. Maybe it's still going on. They had like their 10th anniversary? And Rob, I do see your question there about 8K and who it's for, so I'll get into that. Yes. So this is over at Atomos. So yeah, it's their 10 years. They're having some sales. So look, you get a Shogun 7 and a free Atom X Mini SSD and a Sun Hood, or you can get a Shogun 7 and a free Shinobi SDI. That's like a $500 like just extra gift. Okay. My Shogun Inferno did well, go up in the Inferno, and I was thinking about replacing it with Shogun 7. This might be the time. Get a free Shinobi. So Rob, you were asking what people were thinking about purchasing during this time? I hadn't even looked at what the deal was on Atomos, but yeah, that's kind of crazy, man. Like, I know it's still a chunk of change because I think you're still shelling out, you know, $1,300 for a Shogun 7, but the value that they're giving you in terms of the add-ons, that's pretty crazy. So, all right, let's stop salivating over Atomos. Yeah, really happy that works. Cool. All right, so not sure if it's the sounds processor. Okay, so they were still talking about those. Okay, so you guys were figuring out the audio issue that they was having. Okay, so Rob was asking who is 8K for. So who is 8K for? 8K, I would say, is more for, well, one group that makes advantage of it is visual effects. So when you're doing any sort of visual effects, you really want the most amount of data possible. You want the the best bit depth in terms of colors, and you also want as many pixels as you can possibly get in terms of resolution. So that is where 8K capture of something for a movie or for really, really complex visual effects would come in handy, because you have so much more data to work with. Now, again, even films that do capture in higher resolutions, they don't get released in like 8K. They get released in lower resolutions, 4K and below. But the fact of the matter is that the visual effects artist is given so much information to work with that they can do much more convincing and much more high-end work because there's so much data in each frame. That is really, I think, the best, especially 8K. I think 8K is really more in that realm at this time. Now, I know they're trying to bring 8K into our homes. They're trying to push out 8K TVs. If the Olympics hadn't been postponed, I believe that Canon had a bunch of 8K cameras, and they were actually going to be doing 8K broadcasts from the Olympics, which is crazy. But that's all been delayed, obviously, because of this global situation. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean it's like, okay, we're there now. It's almost like proof of concept, I think. And yeah, but I mean, for most people, like, I don't know what I would do with an 8K camera. I don't. I didn't really know what I was going to do with two 6K cameras. But the fact of the matter is I shoot 4K with them. And even most of the time I end up delivering in 1080. I like to shoot 4K for various reasons, whether it be having an interview look like I have two shots because I can punch in 200% or whatever. Or with 6K, I can punch in 300% if you really wanted to with no pixel loss. But it's interesting. But 8K, yeah, I do not crave 8K. But then again, this could be something else where I'm saying it now and I'm like, I don't want 8K, I don't need it. And then Blackmagic will probably announce the Pocket 8K and I'll buy it and I'll be a hypocrite again because it's already happened twice with me and those cameras. So I'd like to say I do it for you guys so I can check these cameras out, really let you know if it's for you, but let's face it, I end up with, gear acquisition syndrome and I salivate over it and I want it. But they do get use. I do end up justifying them. My cameras, when I am working, my cameras make their money back. So, it's very difficult right now because I've got this new Z-Cam sitting here and the only thing it can do is film my dogs in the backyard for the time being. Like, I want to get it out and get it working really soon. But Shizans is asking, whatever happened to the Convergent Design Odyssey? Used to be the other go-to ones next to Atomos and video devices. Yeah, I remember that. And actually, they still exist. You just don't hear about it as much. It doesn't seem like they seem to be releasing new stuff. Atomos is very good in hype. And I think one of the things that is both good and bad about Atomos is they have so many SKUs, meaning so many products. So that means that it always seems like they're announcing something because it's like, boom, here's the Ninja line, which just means it's the HDMI version. Boom, here's the Shogun line, which means it's SDI and HDMI. And boom, here's a monitor only. Boom, here's a record. So they have so many, so it seems like they're just crushing products, which they are. But then you can also very quickly get lost in the product line as a consumer trying to look at it. But but maybe the Odyssey, they're like, our thing does this and we added a feature via firmware and they're just not as loud and out there about it. But I do want to, so let's see here. I'm going to take you guys over to this screen. Let's take a peek. Over here on trusty B&H. What is it? The Odyssey Q? Yeah, there it is. In stock. That's super expensive too. I mean, it is here, and I don't. This product doesn't seem to have been updated in quite a long time. It doesn't seem like they've come out with a new model. I remember when this thing came out; it was a few years ago. But you know, it is a beast. It seems like they kind of maxed it out right up front, and they don't really have a need to make a new product. I don't know. I mean, they're still asking like a hefty, hefty price for it. So that's interesting. So Gear Jones is chiming in here and has some insight on it. It says the Odyssey product line is awesome. The company is a bit more old school and not big brand promoters. Gotcha. Yeah. You know, it makes sense. Yeah, Atomos, like I said, is very out there, very promoting, very high energy. You know, their marketing, they definitely have a style to them, and they're very out there. But you know, that doesn't mean there aren't options out there just because they're not in our face all the time. And you know, think about it. Like, we are in this industry and working on it, but you know, you don't see necessarily like stuff that's on pro, you know, big movie sets and stuff like that. You don't necessarily see like hype from them, and you know, like, oh yeah, here you go, here's my product, here it is. It's like it just gets released, they use it, it's the standard, and it's good to go. You know, so different marketing, and you know, if the product is good, maybe they don't need marketing, and that's why we don't hear from them as much, because they know that the people who know them trust them, they're reliable, and love their product, and they'll have customers, and they're not worried about it. I don't know. A marketing genius, I am not. Okay. Awesome. Glad that works. All right, let's see here. We got a lot going on. A free Shinobi, that's like buying a car and getting a free motorcycle. I know, that's pretty cool, right? that's an awesome deal. So make sure you guys go over there and do that. I'm going to put that, that's over on the Atomos website. And I'm sure you can find it through B&H, but I will put a link in the description down below for you guys to do that too. After the stream, but we will be ending the stream shortly here. Just want to get all caught up. Which camera is better in quality, Ursa 4.6K Pro or Pro G1 or Blackmagic 6K? You know what? I don't know, because the only time I've used the 6K side by side with an Ursa, it was with my original Ursa 4.6K, not Pro. So before the Pros, the original 4.6K, the OG, and they compared, you know, pretty well. It was kind of funny because, you know, the specs and the performance of this little guy now seemed to almost match what the bigger body was doing. So it kind of was like becoming like, well, why is this body so much bigger? But of course it was older and whatnot. So I don't know exactly, and it really depends on what you mean in better camera. I mean, are you talking, do you need frame rates? Do you need resolution? Do you need portability? So there's a lot of different ways to assess what you're looking for in terms of which is the better camera. So sorry I can't give you a definite answer on that, Hugh Tran. So yeah, Gear Jones was talking about the Odyssey line. Trevor said, I think it's really interesting the way Atomos has managed to maintain its position in the monitor market, considering just how many players have come in lately. Yeah, you know, they're doing something right. And we do love them. I mean, I've owned a ton of Atomos projects all the way back to the original Ninja 2. Yeah, and they impressed me back then, and they've impressed me with pretty much every product that's come out since then. Some of them seem a little redundant to me, you know, where it's like, okay, well, this one does the same thing as that one, but it just has a different port. But, you know, it is what it is. They got to do what they got to do. Gear Jones is saying in a lot of ways it's better than the Shogun 7, so he's talking about that Odyssey 7Q Plus. Very cool. I know it can do a whole bunch of feeds in and can do switching and ISOs and all that stuff, which just recently came to the Shogun 7, but I think the Odyssey 7Q has been able to do that for quite a while. So it's been out there. Trevor's saying all the Chinese monitors are $200 or less, and then there's all the stuff from Portkeys. Dude, Portkeys is blowing me away right now with that BM5 monitor that I have on there. You know, I've talked about it in the rigging video. It's awesome. And it looks like they're coming out with a lot of other things for camera control that are useful, like grips and stuff like that. Like, keep an eye on port keys, man. They're crushing it. Gear Jones is saying, I sold my Odyssey 7 and replaced it with the Shogun and kind of regret it. Oh, man. Interesting standpoint. Were there any particular features that were missing? Oh, you meant, so you got a Shogun. You got a Shogun 7. Okay, yeah. Any particular features that you were missing that you regret? Be interested to hear about that. Trevor says Convergent needs to get its head out on the licensing pricing. I understand they target a higher end client though, but they have to move their pricing models. Yeah, so what he's saying is Convergent, the ones who make the Odyssey 7, they sell licenses to unlock different capabilities and codecs inside it. And those licenses sometimes are like thousands of dollars more. So while the product itself, you're still shelling out $2,200, they then sell you a license. And I recall you could actually rent a license for a few days. So for rental houses, if you picked up one of these, you would pay a fee and they would purchase the license, like renting the license for like 3 days or a week. So that just for your shoot, you then had the functionality that you needed, and then the code would expire and the functionality would no longer be active on the device until the next renter came through and rented a license for it. It's a really interesting thing. But yeah, you're right. You know, in our day and age, it's not a model that a lot of us are happy with and would opt for. We want, like, hey, I bought this thing because it can do this. I want it to be able to do everything that it's supposed to do. So yeah, whether they will change their model or not, I don't know, because obviously it's working for them. So Hugh Tran, I meant image quality. Thanks. Image quality. Okay, so if you're talking image quality between the 6K and the original Ursa Mini Pro G1, I'm gonna say Pocket 6K. And solely for the fact that it has that new color science, although I guess the Ursa Mini Pro G1 would have that as well, the new color science. It was just my my poor old 4.6 original that they sort of abandoned in terms of firmware updates. But if you're shooting 4K, you're gonna get a little bit crisper of an image, a little bit less noisy of an image out of the Pocket 6K, in my opinion, because you are downsampling that 6K sensor, depending on what mode you're in. You know, different things, different resolutions will use different parts of the sensor. But if you're using the full sensor, but capturing 4K, you're downsampling, so it's taking all of that data and squeezing it down a little bit, which is going to make it a little bit sharper, a little bit crisper, going to reduce any appearances of noise that may be in there. So I think the 6K would be the winner in terms of image quality on that one. Now, I've never used the G2, so I don't know if a G2 would, you know, turn the tables there. Not sure, but we'll see. Let's see here. How do you compare your Zcam 6K to the Blackmagic Pocket 6K? Bolden Visuals, good to see you. I'm thinking about both. You know what? I haven't pit them against each other yet. I've done very little filming with the Zcam, really just some stuff out in the backyard, but I do want to pit them both against each other. It's going to be a little bit difficult because the Pocket 6K only shoots 6K in Blackmagic RAW, so I feel like it might be a little bit of an unfair advantage. I'd like to shoot them both in ProRes, so I'll probably have to, instead of shooting in 6K, shoot in 4K on both of them, downsampling their sensors and really compare them side by side. I haven't done that yet, but I do have a video on my channel where I did some test footage, like I said, just in the backyard with one of my doggies, and that's my test footage so far with this camera. I did shoot it in full 6K and did some 300%, you know, pixel for pixel punch-ins, and the detail's insane. the detail it's capturing is crazy. I mean, like I was focusing on my husky's eye, and it was just like boom, and you could see every little hair, and it was, let me tell you, focusing at 6K is a pain in the butt. But when you hit it, man, it's sharp. Let me make a note here. But yeah, I would like to do that in the future. I do want to, you know, I've got both of these 6K cameras. I really want to pit them against each other. But yeah, let's see here. Shiznuts is saying, well, cheers, guys. Got to hop off. We'll catch the last part in post. No problem, Shiznuts. Thank you for hanging out. Always good to see you in here, buddy. And I will talk to you in the Discord. And, of course, any of you guys, if you are not already and you do want to hang out and chat with me when we're not live streaming like this, there's a link down below to my Discord server where you can pop in there and we can chat and share stuff and talk and whatever you want, hang out. There's a bunch of good people in there. You know, you can share stuff, ask questions, whatever you need. So another way to stay interactive and social. So, okay, let me get caught up on these chats here, because like I said, we're just about that hour mark, and want to let you guys go enjoy the rest of your lockdown Saturday, whatever you may be doing, inside, outside, whatever. Let's see what we got here. Men Shogun 7, men image quality, how do you compare them? Both got amazing image quality. Huey Tran. That was my bad. But yeah, hopefully I gave you, you know, that's my opinion. I think the downsampling from the 6K gives me a sharper image in 4K. So 6K squeezed down to 4K. I think the image is great on the Pocket 6K. Bolden visuals, I got a thumbs up. Thank you. Gear Jones is saying, I want a 7-inch Portkeys monitor. Yeah, if they had a version of the BM5 that was 7-inch, that would be amazing. I do like this for on camera. The 5-inch is a really good size. It's super bright, so I'm able to see it. But yeah, you know, a little bit bigger couldn't hurt. You know, more screen real estate couldn't hurt. I'm sure it'd be a bit heavier because they are made all of metal. But yeah, a 7-inch version of that Portkeys BM5 would be awesome. Let me put that on there too. So I'll put links to the BM5 if you guys want to check that out. Yes, I'm using sticky notes and actual pen to take my notes here. Some stuff I do completely digital. Like I've got triple screens and digital everything around me, but I still take my notes with pen and paper. I don't know. It's just easier for me to take it, stick it on my desk somewhere, and then I know, as opposed to typing up a list in notes. I don't know. But some stuff I do use on here. Like I have digital calendar. I have the digital reminders list. But I don't know. I don't know how I decide what goes digital and what goes on pen and paper. But so Gear is saying usability. I'm guessing you're saying that you found the Odyssey 7 to be easier to use than the Shogun 7. I can see that. Some of the menus of Atomos' stuff get a little confusing because they pack so much in there, and it's just icons. So you kind of got to remember what's under which icon to get in there. So I can hear that. DN is in here. Do you still use the Pocket 4K? If so, do you use it a lot for quick color grading? I do still have my Pocket 4K. I have not got rid of that. It is over there on my gear shelf. I love that camera. It was my B cam to my Ursa Mini for, well, as long as I had the Ursa Mini. And it's great. And now I'm definitely not going to get rid of it, because if they do integrate and become nice streaming cams with the A10 Mini Pro, I might even be picking up a few more of them because they're affordable. So 3 Pocket 4Ks and an A10 Mini Pro, I could make a pretty serious setup out of that. But down the line, and that's definitely not a cheap setup. Pocket 4K. Okay, so DNN. Oh, do you use a LUT for quick color grading? I do. So for quick color grading from the Pocket 4K, I've actually found that the LUTs from Blackmagic are actually pretty good. So They do have over on their websites. Yeah, over on their website, they do have a collection of LUTs for all of their cameras. And the one that I like to use is the Blackmagic Pocket 4K Film to extended video. That's the one I like. It's got a little bit more dynamic range, and it's not as crushed as the video format. You have to have the latest color science installed on the camera, so make sure the firmware is up to date and everything like that. But yeah, that's the one I use. Is the one directly from Blackmagic. I find that it does the best to get me 90% of the way there. You know, I pop that on in Lumetri because I use Premiere. I know, I'm sorry, I should be using Resolve. And then I make my tweaks and adjust the image accordingly for the way that I want to go. That's if I'm trying to get a natural look. Obviously, if I want a more stylized look, I'll completely take it in a different direction and do a little bit more manual of a grade. But look that up. Blackmagic does have LUTs. I don't know if I can find them right now. I'm going to try. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to try and find these. I know I have them, but where did they come from? Okay, I guess also it looks like they come with Resolve. There's a LUT folder in Resolve that has all the camera's looks and LUTs. So if you have the camera, you should have Resolve, and it should be in there. Sorry, I don't have like a direct web link. I think I may have actually pulled them from the Resolve folder to use. So sorry, that was a really long answer to that question, but Gear Jones is talking about the Shogun 7 still is a lot more finicky, power hungry, and feels more fragile, but the high brightness is great. Yeah, I've heard the fragility, you know, still a little plasticky for what it is. You'd like to see something a little more solid. All right, getting to the end here. Trevor says the Pocket 4K will be under 1,000 easy by winter/spring. Boggles my mind. There's never been a better time to be a broke filmmaker. Well, yeah, I mean, never been a better time to be purchasing. You know. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but under $1,000. See, that's what I'm hoping is. So I want to hold off on that ATEM Mini Pro because obviously it's going to get snatched up like crazy. It's probably already back ordered after being announced yesterday. So you know, I'm not thinking that my studio is going to be rebuilt and ready for rigging until, like you said, winter, end of the year. And at that time, it should be, in theory, readily available if the world has gone back to normal productivity and whatnot. But I should be able to get a hold of that if I want to go that route. And yeah, and then hopefully the Pocket 4K will drop down in price and we'll be able to get it. So. Okay, looks like Gear Jones is tapping out. Good to see you. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Furworks is in here. Man, I hope it gets down that cheap. I mean, that would be fantastic. The hard thing is, you know, Blackmagic really doesn't drop the prices of their products. They just sort of drop the products. Like, is it in here? Like, how long has it been since this guy came out? Okay. Take a look at this. Remember these? The micro cinema cameras? Oh, maybe it is on discount. Let me see. That's not even the 4K one. Where is it? Yeah, well, but I mean, these things when they were released were $1,000 from Blackmagic. And they're still $1,000. It looks like there's something a little interesting. Per the manufacturer, certain details that we can only reveal in cart. Oh my goodness! If I reveal this in the live stream, is this gonna? Am I going to get like attacked by Blackmagic for revealing this live? I don't know. Let's see what see. Rob is saying he's got a jet too. Thanks for putting it on the party. Thank you very much for hanging out, Rob. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon, so you're not going to miss much there. But thank you very much for hanging out. I super appreciate it. And for what you're saying, yeah, you're right. I was hoping the micro studio camera were dropping. It was $9.95 until the end. Well, let's see what this details in cart thing is here. Oh, I had a case in there. $9.95. What? That's the price. Whatever. But anyway, Blackmagic is not normally very good at discounting their stuff. You know, it holds its value and then it just sort of gets discontinued. So I don't know if the Pocket 4K will ever drop that low. I don't know. But anyway, everyone. We're pushing about an hour and 15 minutes now. I know we've had a bunch of people who have had to dip out, and I am actually going to go ahead and do the same. We're going to bring this to a close, but it was awesome hanging out with you guys. Thank you for bearing with me as I played with some of this chat here. I'm going to continue working with Streamlabs OBS, figuring out new ways to add stuff into the stream, make it entertaining, make it interesting, and really just make it look slick and play around with it and whatnot. So Streamlabs OBS, very interesting, and I just got to figure it out and get it customized the way I want it to work. I'm glad I kind of got this figured out, but we'll get it better figured out. But anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. If this was your first time here and you've made it to the end, that is awesome. Please make sure you go ahead and subscribe so that you'll know whenever I go live and we have new stuff. And, of course, if you're watching the replay and you've made it this far, you are an absolute hero because an hour is quite a long show. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna let you go get back to your individual lockdowns. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. All of this will pass eventually, and we're just gonna plow through, do what we can. So all of you guys here in the chat, take care of yourselves. All you guys watching the replay at home, take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys next week. Where is my ending screen? There it is.